Awesome.
Yeah. Zero fear here. Zero.
Right. Yeah, really, truly. Especially when you start reading this book. Awesome book.
Yes. It is a great book.
Um,
Wait, hold it up longer so Vincent and Zacchaeus can see.
okay. Hold on.
Have you read that book, Vincent and Zacchaeus? I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Sorry. It's Daryl.
Oh, Daryl's in the building.
It's Daryl. I have. Okay, cool. What did you gain from it? So Kenny, that's much easier to pronounce.
Yeah, Kenny does work better.
Because I find myself kind of stumbling on it, which doesn't do you just. It reminded you of The Secret.
The irony is, I mean, it's very interesting when you read like the what's it called? The beginning of the book, the intro, the preface. The author's preface. It talks about that in the way that The Secret does, and I think that was probably one of the coolest parts about The Secret is that it really was speaking to how you can, I guess, the lack of a better word, it was saying how the author speaks to this secret and the secret, and when you see it, you'll understand it, and you can either read in the first chapter or it could be the last chapter. But either way, the secret's there. So yeah, it's pretty cool, but it's funny because The Secret is an entire book pretty much about the secret that's in that book.
Okay. I have to know I gave that book. I have a habit of giving books away to people.
Clearly.
Someone I used to know, like he's a lot younger than me, and he needed a lot of help in terms of mindset development. So I gave him the book. I don't think he ever read it, like ever.
It's amazing, and I think one of the most interesting. And this is probably one of the mentors that we both have says this about books. A lot of times, people will say they read the book, but they say, "Okay, so what did you take away from it?" And they don't really have anything they can take away from it. And then the other thing is you say, "Okay, when's the last time you read it?" Well, I read it a long time ago, and they likened it to, "Okay, when's the last time you eat or you ate?" And
a long time
ago, and it's that nurturing, that's that nourishment. I mean, I was reading somebody, we saw the same thing about the person who is focused on, being an expert at anything within the first 20 hours. They were saying how they read a book every day, and that's an average appetite, but just it's nurturing that mind, it's nurturing that mindset of growth and sort of productivity, both which allow you to accomplish a great deal more than if you're just saying, okay, I'll read a book once a month or when I'm told to.
So it has to be a conscious effort.
Yeah.
Everything you're doing has to be a very conscious effort. And sort of, we talk about this a lot about, oh, hey, Laszlo.
Hey, Laszlo, good to see you.
We're working on that schedule. We really are.
We are. It's like pixels, huh? Oh, okay. Well, I see her. I guess you can hear her. So, okay. Sometimes that does happen. It's funny because I've seen the network to be really poor in some cases. I don't know. Sometimes I refresh it and it ends up being a little bit better. But glad you're here. We appreciate you regardless, Laszlo. We appreciate everybody, truth be told.
Yeah, everyone. Thank you for being here. So we're...
Interesting. Daryl's wife, Motivating Minute.
Oh, yeah.
What is the Motivating Minute, just out of curiosity? What is that?
It's a motivating minute.
I mean, I get it, but I'm like, what's the story? What's his pitch?
Don't be putting Daryl onto...
I knew there was a story. I knew there was something behind it, which I think is kind of awesome. Hold up, I don't hear you. What happened? Did you guys hear? I don't hear her. Do you guys hear Andrea? Okay, interesting. So they hear you. I don't hear you. I can't call it. I'm still here though. Oh, okay. So he can't hear you, Andrea, or
used to be a blog. Okay,
she's gonna come back. You can't hear either. Okay, all right, cool. So she's gonna come back, which is awesome. It'll be great to have her back in and be able to hear. Sometimes it happens with technology. Okay, awesome. Can hear you, which is fantastic.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah. So startup wins for this past week. I guess for me, it's just really starting to execute against each goal and objective, and really trying to narrow down like the 5 key things that need to be done each day to really execute against tasks that help to accomplish the goals, and really identify those. Because I was at a nonprofit. This has nothing to do with this week, but it has to do with this point. I was at a nonprofit who was called Rafa. I can even say that, it doesn't matter to me. Rafa is a great organization that helps nonprofits to go from making less than $30,000 to making millions of dollars per year. And Rafa, it's RAFFA.com. It's not a nonprofit. It is a for-profit accounting consultancy. But I was at a Rafa event, and they were speaking to, the biggest differences are having, it's really like 3 or 4 things between a company that has, a 7-figure budget as a nonprofit and a company that has $30,000 as a budget as a nonprofit. And the biggest point was, their belief, their faith system behind what they're doing, but also them having 3 full-time employees. The whole idea of having 3 full-time employees put you in a position where you can now request and acquire those kinds of benefits that go to people that actually have those 3 full-time employees. Because companies would say, okay, you're committed, you're in it. Let's give you $100,000. Let's give you a budget that helps you sustain this nonprofit. And most nonprofits will have a board filled with people that help to raise the money, but they don't have 3 full-time employees. But Rafa was one of those companies that helps you to understand that, and helps you to qualify that, and helps you to see what's the difference between your nonprofit and the nonprofits they work with. But anyway, so the whole win of the week was just being organized, similar to the way Rafa is and helps you to become. Getting more organized is sort of the key.
I think it's interesting because that's a big deal. Like here online, especially when you're trying to build an online business, a marketing business, a sales business, whatever you're trying to build, and you're just starting out, startups, right? Is that big leap from going to like just a part-time hobby to a full-time, like 3-person employed business. And
we still can't put the links in there. Did you see that?
But I can't do it. I try to update. Well, let me see if I can do it.
Can anybody else put the links in there? I'm just curious. We can't type. And that's sort of interesting.
Why is that? I couldn't do it with I tried this with other blabs. Like I went in and tried to talk, but I couldn't.
So you went to other blabs and you were not a part of the blab and you still couldn't talk.
Yeah, so I thought maybe it was my system. So you may become a dev of blab, really, Laszlo, you should.
Right, truly.
Yeah.
Truly.
He didn't, yeah, because I went into other blabs, people I knew, but I couldn't type anything. And so I said maybe it's...
You had that recently?
Yeah, just like earlier today. So I thought maybe it was my system. So I updated everything. I checked the Chrome was updated. I checked if the system was updated. It is.
So interesting. Who on here besides us is on a Mac? Because I know we're on Mac, so I'm not sure if it's a Mac thing versus an Android thing.
So apparently Laszlo can type.
Right, but is he on? Yeah, I think we're both kind of Linuxers too, but we're on Macs. Laszlo, you on a Mac? Interesting. So Kenny's on a Mac.
Is it just us? It must just be us.
Yeah, it must be
I don't
us.
get
Yeah.
that.
All right. So maybe Brittany did something behind the scenes.
I know, Brittany.
Right.
You look good in those pictures we took, Brittany.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, she did. She looked amazing in the pictures. It was really cool.
And in person.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so biggest fears or biggest wins was that, okay, the companies that we're building now, we're both full-time, right?
Right.
Monty for a while, me for not so long, but for good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes a difference. It's back to the same energy. Again, I know we talked about the nonprofit really quickly, but I think it's the same energy whether it's a nonprofit or for-profit. Mm-hmm. There is a different energy when you're full-time and you're focused on it and you have that trajectory that more than you are trying to accomplish. It gets more things done and there's more reasons. Santa Hunt, is that part of Product Hunt's thing? No, I haven't seen it.
Again, Yeah, we didn't.
So is Product Hunt all about the cats? And
It's
is that cat wearing Google glasses? Oh wow,
it is
that's
all
great.
about the cats. This is amazing. Oh, you did their featured Laszlo on it. Congratulations.
That is awesome.
I love that. I'm share that right now on Twitter since I can't type and blab.
Yeah, might as well give them a shout out there. And we would love to have other people that want to share things that they would like us to share. We have no problem really sharing it with others because we really want to support the startup communities, those who actually are makers and doing something that's interesting and exciting and fun.
I agree.
What is Laszlo's Twitter handle?
I think it's the same at NOXOWE.
XOWE.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, new rule. Tweet me. Monty is like,
Yeah, I'm
joking. Oh, big ups to you. Okay, he says he will next time.
Yes. Yeah, pretty much if you're sending a message to me, I'm going to catch it eventually. I'm probably not going to catch it early, unfortunately. But I saw Laszlo, and I responded back, I think. Yeah, I did. I responded back and tweeted back, so we're in there.
Okay.
Yeah, we want to really help people to share what they're doing, what their startup wins, what their fears are, what their challenges are, because a lot of times those fears and those challenges are perceptions. I love in the Think and Grow Rich book how it talks about that person who was going into the 49ers, and I'm a huge fan of the 49ers, but they're going into the 49ers aspect of, okay, let's go out to the Gold Coast and find some gold. And the guy found a vein of gold, was successful in doing that, went back, got investors, got family, friends to put money into that idea, came back there with all the equipment, which were, awesome, was successful in finding the game, got to the point where he just basically broke even and then couldn't find any more gold.
3 feet away.
3 feet away, the person who he sold his equipment to ended up saying, okay, let me go out there and talk to people who were wiser than me. And 3 feet from where he was digging was the actual goal. Now, in a general sense, that doesn't sound like a whole lot, but it seems massive when you're the one digging. But 3 feet, in any general direction from where you were digging for you to find a vein of gold that made millions is crazy. And it was a story that he took to his heart, because then he was able to build upon that success, build upon that message to say, okay, perseverance, realizing the struggle, the challenges, all those fears that usually could stop you really just mean that you're that much closer to your success, and you persevere through that to accomplish that goal.
Absolutely. And someone came. Jay Munson Jr. Hey.
Hey, Jay, good to see you. Hello to you.
Yeah, never give up. Never give up.
Not even that. Not just not giving up, but also the concept of getting getting some experts. And this is back to Vista Ventures, and the chairman of Vista Ventures said that idea of, specialty focus versus general focus. And a lot of people have that general concept as opposed to being a specialist in just that one little area, that one capacity. And in the 3 feet from success aspect, if he'd have just talked to some people to consult, he had the equipment, he had the rights, he had all the access, he had all the tools. The one thing he didn't have was that expert that says, okay, geologically, where should the goal be? And if, again, with our startup, and this is I hate to go back to Rafa again, even though, we're making no commission on selling Rafa, but it's like you could have your startup, you could have your nonprofit, you could have your entity, and it's got all these good things going from it. You have your 3 people in place, and you're still only making $30,000. I saw someone was showing a stat about one particular county in the Washington metropolitan area, and they were saying more than 80% of the nonprofits in that area were not making more than $30,000 in their budget per year.
$30,000 spread out across 3 people. That's less than the average national average for poverty.
Exactly.
Or one person.
Exactly. But that's what the average nonprofit was making. And yet and still, there's more and more people starting nonprofits, or they have this vision in their mind about, oh, I need a nonprofit. And the one thing that remains true is if they had a person like Rafa, or they had someone that's an expert on their board, an accountant like Rafa is worth the price of, their price in gold, because they're able to say, here's where you should be digging, as opposed to where you're digging right now. Here's where you should be applying for grants, as opposed to where you're applying right now. And that's the same thing with the startups. It's like you talk to the other startups that have actually done it, and you're able to then say, okay, they've succeeded at generating $100,000 in revenue, or $2 million in revenue, or like the Pebble guys. I think they were an awesome example. It's funny. We went to a place where, what was it? You know what I'm talking about? The place that was.
Which place?
Hacker Dojo. We went to Hacker Dojo.
Yeah.
And on the wall, they had the different startups that were successful, that were all connected to Hacker Dojo, and raising capital. And Pebble was one of those companies that was connected with Hacker Dojo that was successful. And I don't know if you guys know the Pebble story, but Pebble was able to successfully raise $10 million to create their Pebble watch. And that's amazing. That's amazing when it comes down to it. But at the same time, the people in that community are connected to Pebble. And one of the things Pebble did and continue to do a lot of with a number of people that are startups, they go out to find other startups that they can invest in or help to support and help to build. So they're like, okay, we were successful in Kickstarter. We want to find other people that have Kickstarters that we can invest in, or we can help to grow and nurture and encourage. But if you're not looking for Pebble, you won't find Pebble, and the founders of Pebble won't come to you and say, hey, let me help you out. For the record, Dexter actually met the founders of Pebble out there too.
JKS wants to come on.
Okay, sure.
Just so we can get it straight. It's Jacus.
Jacus.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Jacus. I'm sorry.
Is that me?
It might be, yeah.
That better?
Yeah, perfect.
Jacus. I got it now.
I know. It's so tough because, like, the A, it should just be Jakeus, but it's Lithuanian. You can't get around it.
That's pretty cool.
What does your shirt say? Hashtag what?
Hashtag town.
Hashtag town.
Oh.
It's a play on words. It's actually the company that I want to start up. It's not actually hashtag.
It's H-Town.
Back in the day on the phone, it's not a hashtag, it's a pound sound. It's a pound. Pound town.
Okay.
That's pretty cool. We don't know.
Right?
That's pretty cool.
I get a lot of love for it. And the girls are like, wait a minute. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you gotta do that. Get it out there.
Okay, so what is pound? Oh, okay. What is Pound Town? What does Pound Town do? And it just sounds funny for no. Go ahead.
It's just a clothing line. I'm actually in the I'm trying to get it started with a couple of partners, a cousin of mine, and it's getting it going. There's a lot of legal stuff to do with it, and I don't want to just come out and then not be completely successful. But like what I've always learned from, like, you guys were talking about the book, right? I've read that book. I've done a lot of Anthony Robbins. I've done the Robert Kiyosaki. I love all the knowledge. Like, I eat it up. I just love it. The only thing is, like, what I retain, it's hard to remember it all. You know what I mean? I'm on the path. Like, I got the idea. I'm all about it, But, like, for me to sit up here like you guys do, and you're, like, pumping out all kinds of great information, which is amazing, because I'll sit there all day and listen to you. It's like I follow Monty, and I just started following you, Andrea, and I sit up here and I just take it all in. But for me, like, even growing up, like, I'm from Boston, lower income housing, like, started like when I was young, always wanted to be an entrepreneur. Like, I used to go to camp and collect cans. I was called the can man. You know what I mean? Like, I just wanted to make money. You know what I mean? Like, I need to stop living down here and start living up here. But I mean, for me, like, I've always recognized that there's three main businesses I always wanted to be a part of: real estate, food, and clothing. Those are the three main necessities of life. That's what I've learned. Now, like, life's changing a little with technology, and but those are always going to be, like, needed: clothing, food, and shelter. So I started with I started buying property probably I was like 23 or 24, and now I own like a few pieces of property, which is great. Like it's helped me to live a better lifestyle. Mm-hmm. Always wanted to get into some type of food, but like I just haven't been able to do it. And like obviously I've crossed over to try to get into the clothing line, and it's like, am I gonna be like a Tommy Hilfiger? Probably, definitely not. But like it's nice to actually start something and slowly watch it grow. It's like planting a flower and watching it bloom. But always it's like being able to come on to Blab now. This is an awesome platform where you can. I just sat on a Blab and talked to a guy about trademarking. Like basically told me everything I needed to know about trademarking for free. You know what I mean? Like, and it was free information. And could I have gotten it probably on YouTube? But the actual human interaction is amazing. Like whatever I want, just type it in. Here you go. This is what I need to know. And I just think it's amazing. Like I love that you can come out here and you could just pick up anything you want. You could jump into any Blab and just talk to anybody all over the world. How lucky are we? You know what I mean? Like
That's
how
amazing.
blessed are we?
So Blab is our win. Our win.
That we get these opportunities.
It is.
Hey.
It's a massive win. And
I'm gonna pop in
it.
on my computer, but I gotta actually jump on the phone, but I'm gonna stay in and listen in, all right? But I appreciate all the info.
Okay, that's cool.
Have a great night. Thanks, man.
Definitely appreciate you. You too. Yeah, that's right too. And I think it's awesome that he did that. And I think one of the biggest things is this to me is also where the lean comes back into play, because lean isn't necessarily cheap. Lean is really saying that you're going to go out there and have a hypothesis, an understanding of what it is you want to do, and you can test the market. So like with his shirts, let me give you the other example.
Like,
one guy
serious
actually,
problems right now. It's I'm not laughing at you. I get you. Yeah, it happens to us all the time.
Yeah. So the guy that we spoke to, and I forget what it was, but he actually said he would wear his shirt to conferences. And one of the things he would actually do is go to these events, wear a shirt to the conferences. And people were like, man, I love that shirt. Where'd you get that shirt? And he'd be able to go take that shirt and take orders. Like, hey, I can do this shirt for $60 a pop. And people would buy those shirts. So his shirt became a marketing tool for him at events and activities. So it goes from, hey, I love your shirt. That's a cool shirt. To, hey, you want me to have this shirt? And maybe I'll have, hashtag or Pound Town on it on the front, but then your name on the back, or Pound Town on the front and something else that says something that's personalized to them. You can actually do those shirts and sell that, and it sort of gets you into that business. He did that, and I think they raised something in the neighborhood of like $100,000 by doing that with their shirts.
And it happened to us. It happened to us when we were trying to prove the point, walking around with this shirt on, and perfect marketing.
That it did.
Am I frozen? You're frozen now. Am I frozen or you're frozen? No clue. Let's refresh.
I'm not sure if it's frozen.